Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the 5 greatest Bach recordings. Ooh, this one is difficult, isn't it? You must limit yourself to 5. No exceptions, no honorable mentions, just 5. You can do it if you want to. I actually think it's important to make choices, to have to sort through all of these, the luxury that we have of picking anything we want and narrowing it down to the 5 recordings we really, really care about most. There we go. The ones that touch us deeply, the ones that we would recommend without hesitation to our friends, but just 5. So here we go. First, the Goldberg Variations with Glenn Gould, 1955, mono on Sony. You knew this had to be on the list, right? There are some things that you just have to have on the list. And this is definitely one of them. And if you guys feel the same, you should put it on your list. The whole point of this exercise is to see how many recordings come up most frequently, which gives people who don't know the music an idea of where the consensus lies. And, it doesn't even matter if you particularly like it. I mean, I wouldn't say that Glenn Gould's Goldberg Variations is my favorite version of the Goldberg Variations. But, I mean, has there ever been a more important Bach recording? I really don't think so. I mean, it's the recording that put, first of all, the work on the map, and second of all, Bach on the map as more than sort of a, cranky German Kapellmeister for, Sundays in church. It established him as the brilliant all-around musician that we know he was. Or, a musician who you get assigned inventions when you're learning how to play the piano. This was the piece that did it. And so, this is the recording that did it. So it's got to be on the list. Next, the St. Matthew Passion, Herreweghe, 1985 on Harmonia Mundi. Now, Herreweghe did it twice. It's amazing to me that a work as gigantic as the St. Matthew Passion often enjoys these days multiple recordings from these period instrument folks. I mean, I just find that almost incomprehensible. I would think you would, save up your entire life and just do it once. But that's not the point. The point here is that the Herreweghe recording, the first one, really demonstrated, at least to me, that the period instrument movement was capable of playing beautifully. I mean, and that mattered because before that, there were good performances. Of course there were. I mean, but there were, they were noteworthy for making strange and alarming noises, which we were being told somehow related to the composer's intentions. And the Herreweghe recording is a heartfelt, extremely beautiful, warm, humane telling of the story. Somehow it managed to make us forget all about the fact that he was working with period instruments and pay attention to what the music meant. Now, there may be earlier performances that do that. I can think of a couple, actually. I can think of a couple that are absolutely marvelous that were not on period instruments. But this one, I think, was a landmark in what the movement could achieve expressively. And I still think it's a magnificent performance. It really is. So there's that. Then the Brandenburg Concertos with Gustav Leonhardt originally on Seon. Now, it came out in the United States. It wasn't on Seon. It was licensed from Seon. And it was on, I think, Pro Arti. And it came in this box. The box had the facsimile score, the entire score. It was so cool to follow along with the score and listen to these performances also on period instruments, but brilliantly played, particularly Leonhardt doing the cadenza in the 5th concerto, which I think is one of the most fabulously shaped 5 minutes or so of music that you've ever heard in your life. I mean, he somehow he creates a world in this keyboard cadenza. It's an incredible moment in the history of Bach performance, I think, from somebody who probably thought about it his whole life. I mean, nobody was more, committed to the cause than Gustav Leonhardt. And all the players, he got all the best players of the day. You've got like Anna Bylsma's there, and Lucy Van Deel, and just the whole Dutch period instrument crowd showed up to do these Brandenburg Concertos under Leonhardt. It wasn't a name ensemble. It was just really what must have happened in Bach's day, which is, the employees of the Marburg. I mean, the Marburg never performed these works. You probably never even saw the dedication manuscript, but if he had done it, it would have been in Bach's day a group of friends getting together, his own collegium at Zimmermann's coffee house. They would get together in a group and they would just play these pieces. And that's what happens here. There's a collegiality to the performances, a joy in making music, of extraordinary finish and virtuosity. It's just a fabulous set. It's not crazy fast. It's not trying to show you how period instruments can play things lickety split with, mechanical proficiency. None of that. It's just fantastic music making by a group of like-minded professionals. So there you have it. Then the Sonatas and Partitas for solo violin with Nathan Milstein on Deutsche Grammophon. Classic performances. I mean, from the day they came out, they were the reference edition. There are many, many, many fabulous versions of the Sonatas and Partitas for solo violin. And, you'll have your own. But I think we could all agree that the pieces meant something special to Nathan Milstein. And he probably recorded them twice. Let's not forget there was his earlier version for Warner, then EMI, which is also extremely good. But these performances have a wisdom and warmth and confidence about them that's really extremely special. And last but not least, the B minor Mass with Richter from 1961 on Archive. First of all, it's still one of the best recorded performances I've ever heard. This is one of those everything went right days, or several days. And that's really amazing when you consider a piece this large and this complex. And Richter's performance is both energetic, hugely physically energetic, hit you in the solar plexus, energetic. I mean, the Et Resurrexit and the Credo and the big choruses and the Gloria and the Sanctus with they're just cosmically powerful. And you've got this immense sound. I mean, it's not a large ensemble, but you've got a real presence from the organ, which gives everything, an extra bit of oomph. And you've got amazing soloists. It's an incredible performance. It really takes the piece beyond issues of stylistics, of whether it's period instruments or regular instruments, and just plays it, in a sense, the way Bach wrote it. Because remember, he never heard it complete as a mass. It was never performed that way in his lifetime. He borrowed things from here and there, and from different sources, but as a sort of timeless embodiment of Bach's compositional technique and his beliefs as a human being, and as it stands beyond the realm of mere performance practice technicalities. And this performance really drives that home. It really does. It's just cosmic, insane. It's fabulous. And so there you have it. My 5 greatest Bach recordings. Oh, how I look forward to yours. But remember, only 5. I will delete anything that gets beyond the number 5. So learn how to count. And keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.